Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome you to this leadership initiative. We are trying to help you understand the behaviors and competencies that are required by you to become an effective leader. As a first step, you would be asked to complete a profiling exercise. Now, you might have come across some profiling exercises that ask you to rate your capability from a scale of 1 to 10 or 0 to 100 or 1 to 7 and so on. That output is basically useless because it gives you an understanding of what you think you are capable of. However, in reality, the world evaluates you, and you need to understand how the world evaluates you. So you need to have an other person's perspective to help you work on your behaviors, work on your competencies and skill sets to become an effective leader. The solution or the profiling tool that you're actually going to complete now helps you to understand your perspective and the other person's perspective. We at Talentgene, UK and in India have worked over a period of 15-20 years to develop this system to help people understand their behaviors from their and other person's perspective. In short, we provide a behavioral X-ray. Now, when you fill up a profile, you normally tend to complete it from a capability perspective. I would urge you not to do it from a capability perspective. What do I mean by that? You are capable of being creative, you are capable of being logical, you are capable of being practical. Now, although you're capable of being all this, when you are faced with a problem, you would tend to take a decision based on what you think you need to do. That might not be a mixture of all this, and it can't be. Let me explain. Although you can buy 4 or 5 houses, let's say one in Bombay, one in Delhi, one in Bangalore, and one in Chennai, and one in Calcutta, at any given point in time, you can live in only one house. Although you're capable of buying 5 houses, you can only live in one house. Now, where you live is based on a decision, and that is something influenced by your behavior. When you fill up this test, complete it from a behavioral perspective. Now, when I say or when I ask people to complete it from a behavioral perspective, they normally tend to attach scenarios or they tend to look at specific situations and then fill the profile from that perspective. We don't want you to do that. We want you to look at any situation or any word and think about how you would behave normally. Do not, I repeat, do not associate yourself with a problem or a situation and then think how you would behave then. You have to have a very clear thought process as to how you would normally behave given that these are the criteria. That's one part of the exercise. Then the second bit I want you to keep in mind is do not fill up 100 or 0. When I say do not fill up 100 or 0, it's because you cannot be 0% or 100% at any given point in time. You cannot be creative Every time you get up, every time you talk, every time you write, every time you think, every time you even take your bath. So, avoid 100 and 0 if you can. The same goes for 90 and 10. Now, you could be creative most of the time. So think hard and long before saying you are 90%. I'm not saying you should fill or you shouldn't fill 90% or 100% or 10%. But remember, what you feed in is what is going to help us devise the report. So if it's garbage in, it's going to be garbage out. Keep that in mind. Now, the test itself has got two parts. The first part has got a word and an explanation of the word. I want you to think long and hard and answer it from a behavior perspective. Please remember, we are not trying to gauge you. We are not trying to say this is good or bad. We are trying to provide a behavioral X-ray. And when we are trying to provide a behavioral X-ray, we want you to provide us with a honest and well thought out answer, which reflects reality. If you try and cheat the system, which people have tried, it's just a waste of time. You would not get anything out of it. If you complete the first part of the exercise, after investing a lot of time, the second part of the exercise would be really easy. The second part of the exercise basically would pair two words opposite each other and ask you to rank your preference or your behavior on those two constructs. Although it takes 5 to 10 minutes, people have even taken 25 minutes to complete it, and the reliability of the report is reflected in the time invested. I'm not saying you should invest the entire day completing it, because it's just 27 words. So take your time, think about it. Do not fill it up from a behavioral perspective. Do not fill it up from a capability perspective. Fill it up from a behavioral perspective. And I'll talk to you probably in a couple of hours. Let me recapitulate. The profile provided by Talentgene helps you to capture your behavior. It's a behavioral X-ray. So do not fill it from a capability perspective. Do not fill it with hundreds or zeros. And probably when you're ranking yourself on 90s or 10, think long and hard. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. Okay, see you in a couple of hours. Bye.